Hello Virgo, this is Michelle from Divine Intuition and welcome to your monthly love reading for November 2020. So for this reading, like always, I'll be using the Witch's Tarot and I'll be using the Psychic Tarot Oracle cards, and for this reading, I'm also going to be using the Sacred Rebels, okay? So I'll be taking these cards at the end of the reading. So be mindful that this reading is not gender specific, that it is just regarding our energies, all right? All right, Virgo, so let's see what's in store for you for this month of November. Okay, so let's start with the Divine Feminines. Let's see what's in store for the Divine Feminines first. All right, we start with the High Priestess, so strong psychic energy for this month of November. We have the Hangman, and we have the King of Pentacles. So very busy with your crafts, this month of November. Okay. So for the Divine Masculines, we have the Justice, we have the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Ten of Wands. So yeah, I feel like the Divine Masculines is going to be quite busy with work this month of November. And looks like he might be dealing with some legal affairs as well that can help him out. So let's see the overall energy for the both of you. Oh, this one just jumped out. We have a jumper. So we have the Three of Wands. Okay, so let's take a look further into this reading. Okay. All right, so we start with the Divine Feminines with the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is definitely suggesting that there's going to be high psychic energy for this month of November for the feminines. I do feel like the veils are definitely thinning this month, seeing that since we're heading towards the end of October, it kind of stays in November, around mid-November. The veils are still pretty thin in the beginning of November. So around the beginning of November, the veils will still be pretty thin, and you'll be receiving a lot of psychic information, a lot of perhaps information from the other side. Maybe spirit guides are going to be communicating with you, or people who have crossed over, right? So you're definitely going to be connecting with them. You may be receiving some premonitions, some visions, right? Maybe certain substances are gonna probably boost that psychic energy in the month of November. Perhaps you will be taking something that will kind of increase the psychic energy for the Divine Feminine. So Divine Feminines are really in tune to their feminine energy this month. Very grounded, very intuitive. Okay, so I do see the feminines will be quite intuitive for the month of November. Now in regards to her masculine, she may be contemplating still whether she should progress in the relationship further. She may be stepping back, not really putting much into the relationship. Perhaps certain past circumstances have made her quite cautious and really listen to her inner voice and intuition, whether she should pursue her Divine Feminine at this time, Divine Masculine at this time, whichever. And really reflect and step back and observe the situation first before moving forward quickly into the relationship. Okay, so Divine Feminines are definitely stepping back a bit. Now with the Divine Masculines, we have the Justice card. So the Justice card is about fairness, is about balance in the relationship, harmony in the relationship. So if there was some disagreement, if there were some arguments between the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, it looks like they will resolve the situation, their issues, in the month of November. So it looks like you guys are settling things. Divine Masculines, looks like the Divine Feminine is much more harmonized, and this is also balancing your energies as well, and you're feeling quite harmonized in the relationship as well with your Divine Feminine. So looks like things or arguments have been resolved. Perhaps there's a conversation that perhaps you both have discussed to balance things out. So probably some miscommunication has been perhaps spoken and perhaps concluded, okay? So, or resolved. So, all right, so with the Divine Feminines in her heart space, she has the Hangman. So the Hangman is definitely suggesting that she's kind of stagnant at this time. Emotionally, perhaps her heart space is a bit blocked at this time because of certain situations that she is pulling back at this time, not really pushing forward into the relationship at this moment. I feel like she's mostly kind of reflecting things because, the halo here is kind of making me feel like, she's just stepping back and not allowing things to flow and really going within herself, because with the High Priestess, I do feel that the Divine Feminines are really stepping back and going within at this moment and kind of surrendering to the situation, kind of surrendering to where her relationship with her Divine Masculine is going to lead her. Looks like at this moment she is just in a pause kind of state, in status quo. Not really, things perhaps around her surrounding are probably not allowing the relationship to move forward as well. There's kind of perhaps a stagnation in the relationship, or it's probably not the right time. So she's just surrendering herself and allowing the universe to kind of allow things to unfold in the relationship, right? So with her Divine Masculine, we have the Four of Pentacles. So this is suggesting that he's kind of also holding back and kind of reserved, not really wanting to give some of his pentacles, his generosity, or giving him of himself to the Divine Feminine. So there is definitely this blockage in the relationship between the both of you. Divine Feminines, Divine Masculines, I think there's a lot of things that still need to be resolved, because with the Justice card, I feel like there's a lot of baggage from past situations or recent situations that can perhaps have affected the relationship in general, right? So there's a lot of reserve, and there's a lot of stepping back and inner reflection and contemplating whether to move forward in the relationship. So lots of perhaps inner healing that needs to be done before moving forward, because you both are pretty much just stagnant and not pushing forward. But overall, you both know that things have been resolved, right? There is some psychic communication between the both of you with the High Priestess that gives me the sense of, a psychic connection and a kind of an agreement, coming to an agreement, and probably in a psychic level as well. Okay, so the masculines are definitely pulling back, not wanting to give up of his pentacle. He's probably just focused on himself. Looks like Divine Masculines that you may be saving up money, or starting an investment, or focusing on your projects, just perhaps closing your heart as well, because the pentacle is kind of blocking that heart chakra, kind of sealing himself as well in his heart space, not wanting to give of his heart as much as well, right? So you both are kind of stepping back in the month of November. So with the Divine Feminines, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is suggesting that the Divine Feminines are really focused in setting a solid foundation for herself, setting kind of like wanting to kind of form a sort of status and waiting for her crops to kind of flourish and give her that foundation that she needs, kind of trying to build her throne. So I feel like she's definitely focused on a pentacle, and she's definitely focused in her money and building herself up and developing something, maybe a business or negotiation. Perhaps she will be negotiating with somebody who is like the King of Pentacles, who has experience in these kind of fields, and perhaps maybe this is the Divine Masculine. Perhaps she will be kind of admiring how the Divine Masculine is already has a sort of status for himself. He's very grounded, very earthly, very strong earth element, and Virgo, this could be you as well, because you are very grounded, and you are an earth element, right? And with this card, though, this is really suggesting that there's a lot of practical application put into any craftsmanship, any work, right? And so perhaps the Divine Masculine will show that to himself, to the Divine Feminine as well, and she could really benefit from his help, right? And guidance, because there is a level of admiration, because he is kind of in his throne there, and very abundant. Looks like he has reaped the his rewards, the fruits of his labor. He's enjoying the fruits of his labor, basically. And I think this is where the divine feminine wants to reach in the same kind of level as the divine masculines, perhaps, and maybe she needs his assistance, and that's why perhaps there is like an agreement or just an admiration. So he could be helping her out in that sense. But this is where she wants to go towards, and this is how she sees him and views him, as a sense of like kind of an inspiration to where she wants to head to eventually in the future. So this is the divine feminine. And with the divine masculines, we have the 10 of Wands. So he's definitely really overburdened with a lot of work and responsibility at this time. He may be carrying too many responsibilities. Maybe he has put a lot of load over his shoulders, so he's definitely busy this month of November, focused on his endeavors, and this could be affecting the relationship as well. So but he definitely has a goal in mind. He's definitely got focused on setting a foundation here, where I see the castle. So there's definitely kind of like a grounding energy I see for you, Virgo. So, which makes sense, because that's mostly that's what the energy, very earthly, practical energy for you. So that also in the center of the reading, we have the three of swords. The 3 of Wands. But the 3 of Swords could suggest something, seeing that I just said it out loud. So there must be, I do feel perhaps there was a 3 of Swords kind of energy between the both of you. Perhaps a heartbreak, an emotional loss, right? I feel like there is a 3 of Swords kind of energy. That is the blockage, I think, between the relationship between both of you. But now you have the 3 of Wands. So I do feel like things are progressing for the both of you now. Like there is optimism in the relationship. Looks like you both are pretty optimistic and hopeful, and have faith that the relationship can progress in a positive way. So there is positivity moving. There is positive movement forward for you guys. So the relationship does look positive in the future, right? It's just that there's just this big blockage that you guys need to resolve, that is caused by the 3 of Swords energy, right? All right, so let's take a look at the Psychic Tarot Oracle cards for the Divine Feminines and Divine Masculines. Let's see. All right, Divine Feminines, you have the third eye chakra, and that makes a lot of sense in regards to the High Priestess energy, okay? Lots of psychic information, a lot of visions. I'm telling you, this is something that's being brought to you during these times where the veils are very thin for the Divine Feminine. So definitely lots of feminine energy, lots of psychic energy, intuition, and messages coming forth for you for the Divine Feminines. Let's see for the Divine Masculines. Temptation. Okay, so the Divine Masculines still may be dealing with their shadow self. Could be dealing with certain demons that they need to confront. Certain things that haven't been resolved, perhaps, within him. And perhaps with regard with his Divine Feminine as well. There is a level of restriction perhaps too, because with the 4 of Pentacles, it's kind of like a restricting energy where the Divine Masculine is withholding something and not wanting to give. Perhaps this energy of the Temptation card, which is the Devil card, usually suggests restrictions or being entrapped in something, in a pattern perhaps that is not healthy. So he may be dealing with certain shadows and certain situations that that could be pretty unhealthy for him. I do see, the heart, his heart chakra kind of being locked and closed, right? And in this one, I do see that, he is also blocking his heart with a pentacle, just focusing on materialistic things, perhaps, right? Being focused on too much in regards to money, maybe business or practical things, not too much involved with emotional situations or things that can feed the soul, right? I feel like very, very stuck in the 3D kind of world. I feel very focused in materialistic things, and this is what the Devil card, temptation really suggests, is like kind of blocking the heart space and just focusing on things that are more in the 3D, kind of more in the matrix kind of goals, energies, right? So my suggestion with the Divine Masculine is to kind of step back a bit with all these practical, well, not practical, but just practical is good, more materialistic things, materialistic goals and gains, kind of to focus himself back to his heart space, to remember what the heart space is about, to remember what the intention is really about, instead of pursuing things out of the ego. I think that's what it is. This is more related to ego, right? So instead of focusing on materialistic goals that the ego wants to pursue, to instead focus on things that are related to the heart space, to unlock it, because this bright light wants to unlock the heart here, but it's like he's pushing it away, right? So that's what Spirit wants to. So that's the message that Spirit wants to give to the Divine Masculines. With the Divine Feminines, like I mentioned, her third eye chakra, your third eye chakra is definitely going to be more activated this month because of the veils. The veils are very thin, so Divine Feminines, you're definitely going to step forward into your Divine Feminine energy. It's going to be very strong this month, so embrace it during this month, because that can really attract also the Divine Masculine, right? Because there is a level of temptation towards her. Perhaps a very strong feminine energy, very psychic energy can really be magnetizing, right? So that if you are trying to resolve the situation with the Divine Masculine, this is a good way to resolve it, to harmonize, the both masculine and feminine energies. There's going to be more harmony. So this can really attract the Divine Masculine as well, in order to help resolve situations, right? So definitely receive those psychic information, Divine Feminines. It's very important, very important. I feel something to resolve in your life, or just things that perhaps are related to your goals, perhaps in the future, future visions, some perhaps that can really help you out. All right, so let's see one last message from the Sacred Rebels. This probably will give a more detailed explanation about perhaps the visions. Let's see. All right, we have free from judgment, free to love. Okay, so we got this in the other reading as well. So yeah, I really relate this to the Divine Masculines though, because I feel like there's still a sense of blockage for the Divine Masculines. Like he's blocking his heart here. There's a key here. Clearly there's a key here, as you can see, that has a heart in it. There's a heart. So something, maybe perhaps your Divine Feminine is perhaps the key to your heart. So you have to allow it to unlock it, to open it, right? So there's a sense of resistance to opening your heart, and I see here with the Four of Pentacles. So Divine Masculines are definitely withholding back, but Spirit is really suggesting that to be open to love, to allow yourself to love. See, you have the green here for the heart chakra, right? Be free from judgment. A lot of people, especially with masculine energy, are afraid to show vulnerability, are afraid to show love. But it's okay to show vulnerability. It's okay to love. There's no judgment. It's society that kind of suppresses that with the masculine. But know this, masculines, that the Spirit is saying that it's okay to love, and that you are free from judgment, okay? So open yourself up, masculines, and you'll see how things are slowly going to progress for you, right? And for the feminines as well. Feminines, you're free to love, and perhaps you will be receiving some sort of psychic information, visions in regards to love and connection, maybe in relationships, right? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this monthly love reading of November 2020. If you like this reading, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave a comment below, okay? And I'll see you guys in my next reading, okay? Have a wonderful month of November. Bye.